I now call on the public orator to present the honorary graduate Diana Skilbeck MBE for admission to her degree.
Vice-Chancellor, Sheriff, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Diana Skilbeck MBE manifests the great tradition of public service in which society fully depends, long before such things were rebranded as the big society. Through her professional and vocational activities, she has given of herself in the areas of education, heritage conservation for nearly 50 years and still going strong. We honour her today in recognition of her outstanding contribution to these fields, in particular her role as President of the Boat Museum Society, a role which, over the years, has involved Diana, quite literally, immersing herself and considerable numbers of schoolchildren knee-deep in the acrid silt of the Shropshire Union Canal. Born in Heswall, not 15 miles away from here, Diana has spent nearly all of her life living and working on Wirral and in Chester. Her father, William, passed away when she was only 13. Her mother, Elsie, when she was just 25, too young to be left alone. Diana was later to rely on the great friendship and inspiring mentoring of her beloved second mum and colleague, Winifred Ashton. She herself attended Townlade Infants in Bebington and Wirral Grammar before studying for her teacher's certificate at Fursdown College, London in 1964. She gained her BA in Geography and History externally from London in 1971. Geography and History, Vice-Chancellor, remain her two intellectual passions. She taught at Mendel, Bromborough and Gayton primary schools before moving into secondary teaching as head of geography at Wirral Grammar, where she herself had attended as a girl. It wasn't long before Diana took up the position of deputy head at West Kirby Grammar. Later, after 6 years as head of Sheffield High School, she returned as head of the Queen's School, Chester, where she remained with great distinction until her retirement in 2001. After a long and successful career, most of which occupying senior positions in top-performing schools, many thousands of students have benefited from her commitment to history and geography, excellence in teaching, and inspiring headship. Many of our own alumni, some sitting among us today, have themselves passed through these fine schools. Such an exemplary career would have been enough for most, but not so for Diana. Vice-Chancellor, when His Royal Highness Prince Charles awarded Diana her MBE in 2012, he was mindful, as patron of the Canal and River Trust, of the vital contribution made that the restoration of Britain's canal infrastructure has made to the hugely important heritage industry, an industry that contributes billions to the UK's tourism industry alone, and many thousands of jobs are dependent on it in areas of craft, construction and conservation. But when they were the mainstay of transportation, before railways and motorways, the canals helped turn Britain into a world power during the Industrial Revolution that would never have happened without them. Imagine then her horror when Diana went to see the buildings designed by Thomas Telford at Ellesmere Port and saw their burnt-out state of dilapidation for herself. For many, Telford's fine industrial civil engineering and architecture of the 18th and 19th centuries have helped form the character of Britain every bit as much as the more glamorous Wren, Gilbert Scott and Waterhouse. Diana never looked back. Over the years, she and many others who had the intelligence to believe that there were economic as well as conservational benefits to be had have dug, built and fundraised, charmed donors, shamed politicians and fascinated visitors. Without the foresightedness of people like Diana, the greed of developers, the arrogance of planners and the myopia of industry would have allowed these cathedrals of industrial archaeology to slide anonymously into irretrievable dereliction. She and they are champions, heroes and saviours of our past. They have restored Ellesmere Port, now the National Waterways Museum, into a functioning and living port once again. Each rescued Georgian brick stands as an inspiring example to others who wish to conserve our historic, industrial and social landscapes. Diana seems to know every one of those bricks. She has become part of the very fabric of the place itself. As president of the Boat Museum and in her continuing conservation and educational work at the National Waterways Museum, Diana is tireless. Now 72, she still dresses up to do role play with school children and dresses down to do hard graft on the historic boats and priceless buildings she has helped save. The Society's educational work has won national recognition and awards for the quality of its teaching. Diana is a keen singer, a soprano with the Wirral Singers. You won't be this surprised then that her own small boat, on which she has been gently exploring the British countryside for 40 years, is called Carmen. Unlike the opera, however, it's not the tragic, haunted figure of Don José who mournfully keeps watch over Carmen, but her beloved mongrel Josh. Vice-Chancellor, in the name of the Senate and of the Council, it is with great pleasure that I present to you Diana Skilbeck for the admission to the degree of Master of Arts honoris causa in this university.
Thank you very much. Is Leslie Cook one of yours?
Sorry?
Is Leslie Cook one of yours?
Yes.
So you meet her afterwards. By virtue of the authority invested in me, I admit you to the degree of Master of Arts honoris causa in this university.